Hi, I'm Connor, and these are my legs. I met Natalie Leduc? I don't know, it's spelled weird. I met Natalie Leduc while riding my bike to school one day. She was on an older road bike with a milk crate bungee to the rear fender. I rolled up beside her and introduced myself. We spent the rest of our ride becoming friends. I had built a few bicycles since my teenage BMX years. Weeks were often spent obsessing over the different parts and how they were assembled. So I was intrigued to learn that Natalie had built more than a few cycles herself. These were no ordinary bicycles, however, but rolling contraptions. Ones that would wash clothes and play songs, even a double tall bike with a mousetrap-esque swirly ball chute. Before parting ways somewhere between the art school and the technology building, I asked where I could see some of her work. She told me about a giant wooden space bike in the gallery where it was set to launch. We remained in touch over the following months. She showed me her awesome rolling sculptures, and I took her to her first American baseball game. There's no other kind of baseball. She eventually moved back to her home in Victoria, British Columbia. It's not like football. It felt like years before I heard from her again, but one day I got a call from a strange number. It was Natalie asking me to build a bicycle with her. She had commissioned to build an art bike for a small parade during the opening of a downtown installation later that month. Her plan was to fly into town a week before the event for a marathon build at a new community workshop near my house. How could I say no? Our back and forth gauntlet of ideas started with a suggestion to build a bicycle version of the pianococktail. It's a bartending piano originally conceived in Boris Vian's novel La Cum de Jours, which, for you illiterate swine, translates to froth on the daydream. It was a delicious idea, but we needed something original. In the past, we had both done projects using glass bottles as musical instruments, so a bike-powered bottle organ actually seemed like an obvious choice. This was, of course, in spite of the fact that neither one of us could play the organ. The week arrived, as did Natalie. I joined her at the shop every day after work while we built the contraption. The night of the opening, I met many of the artists that built the cars I had marveled at my entire life. I told them how much I appreciated their work, and they said the same thing to me. That was a good feeling. Natalie went back home. I tinkered with the bike, obsessing over the tuning and mechanics the way I used to. It didn't take long before I knew I had to leave it alone. To me, the act of building the thing was the art. The machine itself was the photograph at the end of the ride, a consolation prize, proof that it happened. It sat on display until the following spring in the 28th annual Houston Art Car Parade. Participating in a large parade isn't for everyone. Moving slowly down a winding corridor of humans watching your every move, judging you, critiquing your work, and drunkenly screaming at you is enough to turn many people totally agoraphobic. Some folks, on the other hand, live for it. I fall somewhere in the middle, and this was my first art car parade. Keeping an eye on the impending thunderstorms, I put off my decision to participate until the last possible moment. If our trike were to get soaked, it would go out of tune, and the electronics would probably be damaged. After hesitating, I arrived only a few minutes before the parade started. I was supposed to ride in a large group of cyclists, so I didn't have an entry number. The line of art cars was thick with people taking pictures, looking confused and yelling at their kids. As I struggled to ride my way through the mess, I got a call from my friends saying they were number 75. I was next to number 228. I tried to pick up the pace amongst a swarm of people, some literally insisting I stop so they could take a picture. When I finally saw a familiar face, I was told I was number 40. I tried to watch the numbers as I rode past, but missed that at some point the line went from single file style to a side-by-side situation, with the front folded over on itself. I saw number 50, number 18, number 20-something. Bewildered and nervous, I kept looking for number 40. Before I knew it, there were men on roller skates yelling, "Come on, let's go!" Just like that, I was in a parade. I knew I must not have been in the right spot, but at the time it seemed irrelevant. I remember blurring non sequiturs that now seem like significant indications of my very public mistake. Halfway through the parade route, I realized that I've been at the very front. We're talking the banner, major donors, the giant bus from the foundation that hosts the parade, and me. on a tricycle. And this is my first rodeo. I pulled off to the side and tried to find my spot. My bottom bracket needed tightening anyway. Entrance numbers seemed like an alien concept at this point. I never did find my assigned place in line, and always seemed to wind up in a giant gap, as if somehow my tardiness had literally split the entire parade in two. I finally made it to the end of the route and met up with numbers 39 and 41, both classic art bikes and awesome works of art. It would have been an honor to ride alongside them where I was supposed to. I guess there's just something about riding a bike surrounded by old buses and huge trucks that makes Houston home sweet home. Thank you.